Hello and welcome back. I am Dr. Anshu and going to start the today's editorial. I have updated this current affair from from 1st January until now it is updated. So you can check out the current affair series if you didn't watch. So must go there. So coming back with today's editorial, let's have a recap of what we are going to cover today. So first front page covering the Sri Lankan Navy fires at an Indian boat, two fishermen injured. Modi likely to visit US, deepen ties, shares Trump. Moving to the next page. ASR study shows post-COVID recovery, but many students still lag in reading arithmetic. Covering with the two editorials, it's about the US immigration block as a self-defeating path. Fourth one is about the budget pipeline and India's foreign policy, and there are many editorials going to be come because the budget will be updated soon, and there is a many editorials regarding it. So if anything is left, we will cover in next. But till now, I am covering every budget related editorial. Coming to the fifth one is the substantive equality in child marriages law. Sixth one is about the government children lead recovery in basic skill, private 1 lakhs. We studied through the charts. Seventh one is about the impact of classifying denotified tribes. Eighth one is covering about the open EI marker of ChatGPT and the replace regular table salt with a lower sodium salt substitute that contains potassium, WHO. Ninth one is about the Trump order on birthright citizenship constitution. So let's start with the front page. So here the first news covering about the Sri Lankan Navy fires at the Indian boat, two fishermen injured. Basically it's a news about covering the Tamil Nadu fishermen who was crossing the territorial region of Sri Lanka, and there's a 13 fishermen in which 2 of them are injured. So it's about the Indian Ministry of External Affairs said 230 fishermen suffered from serious injuries, and it's a fishing boat from the Karikal in Puducherry and early of the Tuesday. So it was there was an Indian laws of a strong protest. A strong protest about the fishermen were illegally fishing its territorial waters and attempting to assault its naval officer. So the 2 fishermen received slight injuries. So there is a long running conflict with a 540 Indian fishermen facing arrest on charges of illegal fishing last year. So the use of force is not acceptable under any circumstances, and the External Affairs Ministry said. So moving to the next one is the Modi is likely to visit US, deepen ties, White House. It's about the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to visit to the US for deepen ties, and it's about a fair bilateral trading relationship, indicating the India will host the leaders on quadrilateral groups. So it's about the security equipments and moving toward a fair bilateral trading relationship. So it's a friendship strategic between the nations, and both leaders nation emphasizes about the Indo-Pacific Quad partners, with the Indian hosting the Quad leader for first time. And it was the president added a new dimension to relationship, soon the holding the telephone call with Mr. Modi and call for putting America's first in trade relation with major economies. So it's a very important country with our bilateral trade and with the economy of India's. So moving to the next, it's about the ACR study shows a post-COVID recovery, but many students still lagging. So basically ASR is an NGO. It's a non-governmental organization who is not working under any government profit. So they do the research on the basis of the underground level. They have a comparison. They give a comparison about the governments and private school after the post-COVID recovery. So here the prolonged decline of COVID-19. It's about the annual state of education ASR. It will be covered in through a chart. In the next slides, we will read about it. So basically here about the total 649 children aged between 3 and 16 crosses, 605 rural villages participated, and according to the 2011 census, 30 villages were randomly selected, each trustee and 20 households from each village. So the children between 5 and 16 years of ages were stressed for basic readings and mathematics skills, while the percentage of class 3 students enrolled in the government were least able to read. Class 2 text of read 29.9% and figure had dropped from 60.3%. So basically the class 2 students are basically not able to read anything properly. They can solve the arithmetics easily, but they face any problem like the class 5 student of same class 2 text 1 in 2 student are unable to read it. So according to the 44 surveys in 2018, 44.2% fifth grader were able to read, which declined to 38.5% and 2024 and more, and the plateaus again at a 44.8%. So by the time the class class 8, the surveys reveals that 67.5% able to read class 2 level. So this report is very like the education level is declining very low. So it was about solving division problem, subtraction, and percentage point in improvement of such in Himachal Pradesh, Bihar was less to 4 to 5.9% points. So states such as Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand showed the improvement to the 6.9 percentage points. Here the how the percentage readings in 20.9, 16.3, 2024. So the class 5 reading at class 2 level is 44.2, 34, 8.5 and 44.8. Sometimes it decreases, increases, and so the moving to the next slide is the editorial about the US immigration's block as a self-defeating path. So the writer is telling about how the US immigration block a self-defeating path. Basically the data shows that about the H1B workers that is working in America, and how it will affected, what are the impacts of job in there. So it was a study by Britta Gallon found that increasing H1B visa restrictions, American companies do not typically hire more US workers. Instead, they accelerate the foreign workers. They seem like unforeseen consequences but face a visa restriction. So their number is are very significant. A decrease in 1% in initial employment from H1B supply affiliate the growth and replacement. Entire team of operations overseas. Over every 10 H1B positions denied. US multinational firms hired on average 8 foreign workers abroad. Other researchers create a 1.83 additional jobs for native born America workers over the next 7 years. So the immigrant found the companies in US have historically attracted a significant investment, creating jobs, National Foundation of America policy. So the argument of H1B worker suppresses the wages also should not hold up scrutiny. So there is basically the wages here are foreign science STEMs is working here. So it's covering science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and workers are hired on increasing productivity, innovation, and particularly technical field. So the STEM workers flowing from 30% to 50%. So the aggregate productivity growth is 4.4% to 8%. Skill-based productivity. So H1B workers are more double than that of general US workforce wages, and it rose by 52%. When the companies do not face hurdles in hiring the talent they need, they expand operation domestically. So what is the brain circulations and India's experiences? Basically the Valley, how the cities with higher concentration of H1B workers such as Valley, 71% tech workers, valley are foreign born. So brain circulation in India's experiences like 70% of H1B visas annually, and the phenomena earlier considered to be brain drain. Now being looked at a brain circulation. Since the experiences these, India receives abroad significantly bolstered India tech sector, innovations, skilled migration benefits, both sending and receiving countries. So that today's the world is highly interconnected. Competition is both for global talent and future innovation hub. Canada's success rate in trading, in attracting tech companies, liberal immigrations policies offered stark warnings. When US restricts skilled immigrations, does not protect the job, it exports them. So the talent flywheel is like H1B debate in America's unfold, need to be largely transformed. It's a relationship with skilled migrations. So the writer is basically here like the transformation is ultimately rest on three pillars. That first is about the talent is not about building innovations. India needs more specialized innovation with cluster of global standard. Second one is about the India needs to switch gear from playing catch up to upsetting of new paradigms and creating a new global standard. Third is about the cultivation of true innovations like ecosystem that support the risk-taking experimentation. A startup visa programs, for instance, could attract the global entrepreneurs to build in India. Streamlined OCI processes and pension portability agreements and long-term transformations. So, moving to the next article. It's about the budget pipeline of India's foreign policy ambition. Basically, I will cover it tomorrow because there are so much about the budget will come in editorial. So next time I will cover. Five one is the substantive equality in child marriages. The writer is telling about like the Sanjay Chaudhary versus the Gooden 2024 Allahabad High Court says that the couple who got married when man was 12 and woman was 9 under the provision of PCMA Act. So basically it is writer is basically telling about the gender equality, like they don't have to, there is a gender equality of the PCMA Act. If she is at 20, then when the boys are at so both the ages should be the gender based difference in the minimum age of marriage. So what is the case here? That this allows any party who got married as child seek to emulate a marriage as long as petition filed within the 2 year of attending. So it is artificial differentiation is child in PCMA means a girl below 18 year and boy below 21 year of age under the majority of Act 1875 Act, completing the age of 18 year without any distinction between men and women. A literal reading of provision of PCMA thus suggests both male and female parties can seek emolument before they attain 20. The question arises whether the male party can annul marriage at 23 years or 20 years due to gender-based difference in the minimum age marriage. So in 2011 is Madras High Court, like the Inspector of Police held a literal interpretation will create an unfair disadvantages for males married at 20 who despite being married below the legal age would not be able to annul their marriage and thus interpreted the age limit for emolument males for to be 23. So the Allahabad High Court in the Sanjay Chaudhary has countered this reasoning that male parties entering into marriage attaining 18 years cannot claim ignorance of a law capacity as a male of 18 years is criminalized under PCMA for marrying a female child. So the Allahabad High Court noted a difference in the minimum age of marriage stems the patriarchal notion that expect the men to be older and financially responsible in a marriage while the women are perceived as a secondary partner and child bearer. So it is opined that the same age limit, that is within the 20 year of age, a file of nullity petition is aligned with the principle of gender equality. So writer is basically telling here that there should be a gender equality, not the patriarchal society that follows that the boy should be responsible for the should be older and financially stable, and girls should be only perceived as secondary partners and child bearers. For annulling the marriages, there should be a gender equality, like it's within the 20 year of the age for the same age limit, so that both can annul their marriages if there is it is a child marriages, anything else like that. So there is also a Allahabad High Court thought of Union of India 2017 that file annulment petition till the age of 23 years. Uh, Child marriages and the wife aggravate by ruling has appealed before Supreme Court, while the Supreme Court decided the age limit for boys men to file the nullity petitions. So the independent thought issued before Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was a constitutionally martial rape exception in respect of wives below 18 years and not the age limit filing a nullity petition under a PCMA. A male child can get married the annulled before attaining the age of 23 years and was made without examining in detail. Annulled under PCMA. So this interpretation result in the substantive unfair disadvantages, giving the males more time female to exit a child marriage, leaving wives unprotected and disproportionately affected, which undermines the central objective of PCMA to protect the advanced status of women. So it's a just unfair disadvantage, giving males more time than females to exit a child marriage. So the case for no difference is like the need for a uniform age of marriages in India, but raising it to 21 was a proposed now collapsed provision Child Marriage Act 2021 to delay the pregnancy and marriages, advance women education, health will do more harm than good. So Indian recognized 18 as the age of all major civil political right to take such effect, voting, buying and selling property, entering into contracts among other. To delay the civil rights to enter, it will deprive the 18-21 child for their right of life, liberty, decisional autonomy, privacy, dignity. So here the 2024 Infold Proactive Health Trust says that 174 states, it's 174 states, PCMA just 49.4%, 30.9% arrange for forced marriages, arrest, detention, greater risk of deprivation of social protection, opportunity to examine the injustice of in a woman, access to annulment arising from different minimum age of marriages, considered an increase in seeking annulment, prescribed 18 as uniform age for marriage of all genders. So moving to the next article. So data is about the government school children led a recovery in basic skills, private one lacks. Basically, we have already covered a small article about the ASCR that find a report about the government and private school comparisons. So let's study through the chart. So first one, so it's about the it indicates that broadly the rural school children have largely recovered from learning loss experienced during pandemic. To understand learning losses, pandemic as well as post-pandemic recovery, there is a story used data for class 5 children for reports. So these are reports here. So the first children shows a significant improvement in arithmetic ability. Their progress in reading ability has been less pronounced. Second, the government school children shows a strong recovery is reading abilities with the share sorry those who can read a paragraph in their regional languages reaching pre-pandemic levels, while private school children have made some progress in pandemic decline the share of could read a paragraph in their regional languages. So the chart 1 here shows the share of rural school children in class 5 who could read a class 2 level text, a paragraph in their regional languages. So share is of text dropped from 44.2% in 2018 to 38.5, and then to 44.8. So there is a drop. So how it is dropped? A percentage point recovery is, for private school student it dropped from 65.1 to 56.8 in 22 and 59.3%. So its recovery is here is 2.5. Private school recovery 2.5, government school recovery 6.8. It's 6.3 percentage point recovery. Okay. So the third portion of children who are able to perform basic arithmetic operation exceeding the pre-pandemic level. Chart 2 shows here the class 5 who could divide the 3-digit number. The share of government school who could decline from 22.7 to 21.6 in 2022 and 26.5 in 2024. So here a point recovery is 4.9 for government school. For what, for private school student? Private school student who could do same drop like 39.8 to 38.7 and then 41.8. So what is recovery here is 3.1 for private. Table 3 shows here the state wise of ruler. It's government, private, state, year, government, private. So here it's about the state union territories like Assam, Haryana, Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, MP, Rajasthan, various states written here. What are there? So in Bihar, the reading ability of private school children did not recover. So just check out the Bihar region. Here's the Bihar, 35.1 and 78.1. Okay. And 2018 here 24.1, 64 for private. So here the data is about 2018, 22 and 24. So there is a very less recovery. So the children of private school children did not recover. In Chhattisgarh there was no recovery among the government school children, among private ones. Table 4. Let's come to the table 4. Here's the table 4. Sorry, it's the table 3. The data is recovery. Bihar and here. Table 4 here is this. So the states such as Karnataka, MP form a national train and share of those who could divide 3-digit number. So here it's about the national share of those who could divide 3-digit number did not recover from loss, and in fact 2024 the Kerala, let me check out where is Kerala. Yeah, here it's Kerala here. Its share of worsened further in Kerala. Just check the data of Kerala. So this is a comparison of how government school is recovering in the basic skill and private one is lagging here. So moving to the next, the impact of classifying denotified tribes. So basically first we understand what is denotified tribes. We basically after the constitution made and there is a various committee formed to classify the peoples, classify the tribes of various reasons like PVTs and other tribes for their social welfare and for the government scheme. But some tribes are left still not able to recognize and just lefting behind these schemes. So there is one committee formed here. That committee was, if you read the article we will get to know, but I'm just giving an overview of what is this. So denotified tribes in the colonial area are terms to dash tribes who are basically involved in some criminal activities, and they are just hiding and do some criminal activities, so they don't get a special recognitions here, and they left So there are various committees are made, like RG Kalekar committee, and many the 1000 tribes are still left. In these 262 tribes comes here in denotified tribes. So the tribes basically these are classified denotified tribes, nomadic tribes, and semi tribes. So let's study about the what are the classifying, what are their impacts, and how, what will be the impact, and what is next. So let's go to that. So the data was released by the Anthropological Survey of India (ANSI) and Tribal Research Institute (TRI). So the first time they have comprehensively categorized 268 denotified semi-nomadic and nomadic tribes, and then thought to be never classified being before. So basically it's a hard work of 3 years of ENSI and TRI recommended the inclusion of 179 these communities in the scheduled tribes, schedule and other backward classes list. So at least 85 of these communities are being recommended for classification for first time ever. Found, and 63 communities had never been classified, like they were traceable anymore, meaning that they had likely assimilated into large community. So basically what is the need, of classifying these tribes? So it is since the criminal tribe acts of 1924 repealed at August 1949, which have been notified as successive commissions to classify these communities. First is Backward Classes Commission headed by Kaka Kalekar. Various committees are made, like it's Kaka Kalekar. Then after Locure committee is formed. 1965 Mandal committee is also formed. Mandal commission 1980, and Renke commission 2008. Edate commission in 2017. So they have tried classify such tribes across the country, but the last commission tasked with which one was headed by Bhikkhu Ramji. It's a Bhikkhu Ramji Idate, one headed by which submitted report in December 2017, in out of which 200 notified semi-nomadic and nomadic tribe across the country. It said that, just let me, so there was a 267 communities. It's a 267. Let me just. So 267 communities had never been classified. So basically then after that the communities recommended strongly classification work to be completed. So it was ended with, so to this end PMO, Prime Minister Office, PMO constituted a special committee in February 2019 headed by vice chairperson of Niti Aayog, consisting of Idate J.K. Bajaj of Center Policy Studies and Director General of ANSI as a member. So finally the report came in 2000 after the project began in February 2020, submitting its report in 2023. So basically what is the need of it? Why we classify this guide? So I've already told, because of the social justice and empowerment report said that if we are inability to take necessary action, delayed in locating them would increase their suffering. So they would increase their suffering and would not able to get the benefits of privilege schemes. Basically, so for mental welfare of SC/STs, the House panel said. So what about is like, what will the impact? What is the impact about regarding this? So impact is like now that we almost denotified a nomadic, semi-nomadic tribes are closer to being classified than ever before. So the impact on communities like activities across UP, Haryana, MP, and now two strands of thought. One calls for completion of classification. So denotified as nomadic, semi-nomadic tribe get benefit, meant them for classification as SC, ST and OBC, including reservation. Other calls for creating a separate classes. So there are the opinions that firstly you can made they don't just denotified nomadic and semi tribe get benefit, meant as them per classification like SC, ST, OBC. Another calls for a separate classification so that schedule in constitution Secondly, depending on what action governments take, recommendation study, it will be essential to take the government inclusion so that what is decided to next. So what next is the ANSI and TRI have conducted the ethnographic study report, and this was headed by vice person. Just remember the headed by vice chairperson of Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog, an official said that scrutinizing a recommendation of final report with the government with a take call. So here the ANSI and TRIs completed ethnographic studies with a committee headed by vice chairperson and Niti Aayog. So moving to the next is the Open AI maker of ChatGPT question the India's code copyright case and regulars. Basically here's it's about the lower sodium salt substitute with potassium. So the Open AI maker, it was the hearing of two industry bodies is Federation of FIP, and the DNPA intervened in the cases filed by. So the Open AI terms are under the exclusive jurisdiction in California and governed by California law. Basically would consider jurisdictions under the question of facets. Court issued a OpenAI and DNPA to just intervene with reply expect within the 2 weeks. So this basically about the AI research, what is the future potential to save the AI research and what are the resonates for years to come. And it's about the article about the replace the regular table salt. It's the international body has already recommended we have to just the sodium intake should be 2 gram per day. 2 gram per day. So here's about recommendation is for adult sorry, not for pregnant women and children, and excluding with kidney individuals, kidney impairment or circumstances. So what are the huge impact on the human physiology? Like sodium content salt and water travel together. Human body explains the this is a powder about the Cardiac Wellness Institute of Chennai. That's he's tell that salt forces the body to retain water. So eating too much salt means there is a more water in the blood vessels, raising the blood pressure. BP will be rises. So that raising the blood pressure. So the reducing the salt consumption, therefore load on system significantly by increasing the volume blood, thus impacting the positively on blood. Positively on the blood. So the amyloid effect on cardiovascular health, and effective way is that each year 8 million deaths were associated with this because poor diets. 1.9 million attributes to the high sodium. So endorsed to reducing the salt. So just many serious diseases, kidney diseases, lowering blood pressures. So it can be reduced by just taking replacing with the sodium, it's potassium chloride salts for household consumptions, but not in packed, but food consumed outside the home. Not only in packaged food, but also the food consumed outside home. So recommendation was made to employ a policy of health professional and stakeholder. So there was just instead of targeting individual with message about reducing salt, it makes sense to change the what is available to population level. So that's all. Almost one slide is left. It's Trump about the birthrights citizenship constitution. Basically here the citizenship is there's a change in the citizenship. Like if you are, there should be a, if the any person born in the America and the parents are not the Americans, then the citizenship should not be considered. Either one of the parents should be an American for their for their citizenship of America. So basically here about the so divided the judge block the order. Basically it is here written 2/3 of both houses of Congress and 2/3 of state must be ratified, but 3/4 of the state. The other legal challenges are underway, signaling the final resolution. So that's for today. I think I've covered every slides. So just have a small summary about the today's editorials. So the front page covering about the Sri Lankan Navy fires India boat, 2 fishermen injured. One is left here about DeepSeek AI model join the global tech landscape. I will add in tomorrow editorial with with a detailed content. I just forgot to add here. So the more likely to visit the US to deepen the ties, says Trump. Second one is about the ASR studies, and already have covered that through a charts. We have a detailed analysis about it. Third is about the immigration of block as a self-defeating path. Fourth one is about the I will cover next. It is left, I think. Fifth one is about the substantive equality in child marriages law. Sixth one is about the that one ACR reports about the government and private uh, recovery basing skills. Eighth one is about the open AI marker of chat GTP and educations in Indian code. Tenth one is about the Trump's order on birth and citizenship constitution. So that's for today. So tomorrow we'll meet with next editorial. Till now, take care and good night.